Hello friends, it's Reza. Welcome to channel Reza Plaid and to one of my stamping showdown videos. This video's topic is plaid. So as is the case in my stamping showdown videos, I take one thing from one brand and another thing from another brand that serve the same purpose or after the same goal or in the same category as far as plaid, which is what is going on here. And then I pit them against each other in a plate-to-plate battle for who comes out on top as far as money, quality of art that you get from it, quality of stamping, blah, 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 versatility, all sorts of stuff. So I think here we're going to end up with one on top, but maybe a little bit of a caveat about that with another mention of the other plate. So before I just ramble on into infinity, let me say, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you a little bit about plaid, and I'm going to use these samples as an example of what I'm talking about because I tried to do some of the more common plaid patterns. And I'm going to then give you some execution and design tips on plaid, and then my stamping showdown finale, which is where I go head to head. So this video is sponsored by my kind and lovely subscriber Tracy. She wanted a video about plaid. She sent me these two plates to, review and do some sample manis of, inspiration manis. Sorry this video has taken me so long, but I just wanted to do it right. And you who are already subscribers probably know that I do tend to overcover a topic rather than risk telling you too little. So I've put down timestamps in the description box as well as where to get the plates. And so what are we going to talk about today? So plaid is a huge topic. So just define plaid. It's made of vertical and horizontal lines of at least two colors. And the lines can be broken or solid. So you can see this just in this plate here. These are broken lines. You can see they're little horizontal lines that are stacked up into one vertical line, and then these lines are solid. So the two plates that I'm comparing today are Pretty and Plaid #1 by Uberchic. Don't forget to subscribe, guys, because I do have a huge giveaway coming up. I'm 50 subscribers away from 1,000. And when I hit 1,000, the giveaway video to preview everything I'm giving away is going to be in the description box of this video and every video I do until I hit that 1,000 and start giving away the products. So do make sure that you're subscribed, and please tell me if you enjoyed any of this. Please like this. And last week, your comments were awesome. They made me so happy. Please comment again. Tell me if you like these or not. Another plate that I should look into. Although I'm going to give you guys a spoiler. The spoiler of this is the variety of the spice of plaid, and you need more than one plaid stamping plate, and I'll kind of explain why. So here we go. Checks are a kind of plaid, but they are really the simplest design. This is a check. It's a specific kind of check called gingham, which is a pattern made of white checks with another color over it. Usually it's going to be something like pink or light blue or light purple or light yellow or something. They're fairly cheerful, usually ginghams are. You can really use plaid all during the year, throughout the year. A great way to use plaid in the spring would be to do a gingham along with some bunnies or something. Like, you can use a plaid accent nail to do a lot. Anyway, so we've also got, as far as our checks go, so there's gingham. We've got houndstooth as well, which is this shaped check here. And then we've got window pane check, which I don't know if I have a window pane check. Oh, here we go. Window pane check. These are thin lines and big squares. That's your window pane check. Okay. These are all checks that you can look up or just look at what I've done, and hopefully you'll be inspired to create some of these. We've got also the famous buffalo check. This guy is thick check in black over a red background, and that is super popular. I believe it is. Well, I'm not gonna speculate on the origin of the term, but If you are aware of whether this refers to Buffalo the creature or Buffalo, New York, I'm tempted to go with the latter. Do be proud of yourself for knowing that, and maybe tell us in the comments below. So those are the checks that that I think of right offhand. Okay, as far as plaids go, there's famous plaids. We've got a tattersall plaid, which is where you have one plaid kind of inside a plaid of another color. So first you put down like a window pane plaid, and then you center inside, if you can see right here, inside this, what's the word for this? Inside this square, the red square, that's where we're going to put our center of our blue plaid, the contrast plaid. So that's a tattersall, where one is kind of like inside the other. Layering fun. You got to get it all right. So it's really important to excuse me, I'm going to try that one more time. It's really important to stamp very straight lines, and that's a whole video in and of itself. But if you're having trouble with straight lines, especially with plaids, try a straight up and down motion instead of rolling at all. And you can also, if you have like a ruler and a guide and you do it in like felt tip, that's fine too, if you have a base to center over. I have a tremor, an intermittent tremor, still a tremor, so some of these are really hard for me, which is why personally I would go with the Uberchic plate usually, because if you turn one of these patterns into a reverse stamp, there's no real risk of wonky lines. So think about that too when you're thinking about whether to do layering or reverse stamping when you make your plaid. So more plaids. We've got Madras, which I haven't talked about here, but basically Madras is a plaid that has thrown off the cloak of repressive establishment constraints. You've got bright colors. It originated in India, like bright blue and bright yellow and bright pink all together in one big cacophonous plaid. So it's very fun. People wear shorts out of Madras plaid, and they do other things with it too. So I think probably that's about it. We won't cover plaid, Glen plaid or Argyle today. That topic is definitely for the 200 level course in plaid. Also, obviously I'm not covering clan tartans here, but you can definitely and painstakingly use the CSJ, the clear jelly stamper plate that I'm talking about today, to exactly copy your tartan. I recommend, because it is so slow, at least for me it was, that you do maybe 2 accent nails at the most out of your tartan. Unless you just want to go whole hog and do it all, that's fine too. It takes me a while. So as far as tartans go, I'm going to encourage you to think of the Burberry tartan, which I've got on my finger here. And then also, of course, the Black Watch tartan, which is very popular, and the Royal Stuart tartan, which is a red one that's really popular. So that's just a kind of an example of what a tartan is. I'm not talking about it anymore. I'm not going to go into that treacherous tangle of tartans. Oh my God, I did that. I just said that out loud. Okay, so I talked to you about the straight lines. I talked to you about reverse stamping versus layers just in a little bit. So first I'm going to tell you that these are all from this plate, the CSJ 56 plate. So we've got thin lines, and this is important to note that each break here, you can just copy this whole thing and stamp it on your finger and you'll have pre-spaced lines. But my issue with this is that, they're, in order to fit on here, I have no space between my big bars, which isn't how I want it to happen in real life. Same kind of here, you've got the same spacing, but these are the broken lines that are in some plaids and checks. Here we've got a big houndstooth, a big variation on a houndstooth. We've got a basket weave, which is this layered with this. And one thing about clear jelly stamper plates is that they now give you this lovely sheet to tell you what's going on. But I have to admit, like, I can make some of these, but the Madras right here, if that qualifies, I think it might, because it's not symmetrical, that's for sure. Anyway, so I can't do some of these with this plate. I just can't. I could with this plate combined with this plate, which is how I think that they are best used. Like, this is kind of like a supplemental plate, or for recreating your own tartan. Now let me show you the other plate. which is 2. Hopefully you can see all of these cool things. I wanted to show you that with plaid you have so many design options, just so many design options, and it just kind of never ends. I really like this French effect here with what I used was this corner piece that's in the middle. I like about the Uberchic plate, here's what I like about the Uberchic plate. We've got this plaid and this one, and if you see this little tiny little arrow, you can use it on its own, just stamping on naked. You could use it on its own as a reverse stamp or decal that you make, or you can layer these. So on my swatch sheet, which as you know in my videos is coming up next, you'll see what I can do with that kind of effect. But it's better than that. It is better than that, because if you follow this whole row, you have kind of a pre-made mani. If you want to do a couple of variations of the same kind of plaid look, you know, maybe an accent nail with something that is not plaid on it, or like this is actually made with my plaid cheat code, which I'll talk about at the end of the video. But I like to do a solid, at least 2 solid nails, and one of the solids I like to have a silhouette or a very simple decorative element on that nail. It's just, I don't know, I just really like the look of a plaid that uses this formula, a mani that uses this formula, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. So we have all these bits and bobs in the middle here. They're different bits and bobs than the Uberchic plate, and I might point out, if you have really long nails, the Uberchic plate has more length in each line than these lines on the Uberchic plate. And that goes for the height of the images too. So if I look at these whole nail images here, you've got quite a lot of room for a bigger nail here. However, here you've got just a little more than what I've got as far as the nail is concerned. This is my favorite one. This is my favorite mani. I have to talk about that now. So I did this one with the Uberchic plate. I wanted to do one from each plate. And this is unfortunately a discontinued polish from Graceful. It's like one of my favorite possessions in the world. But I wanted to show you that, you know, you don't have to be simple to, you know, make it look clean. I did an ombre here, and I reversed it here and did the original ombre here, or rather gradient, I guess. And then I broke it up with a solid. So that is essentially the plaid cheat sheet in action on the plaid cheat code in action on this hand too. Same thing here. I've got the Burberry Brit plaid, which I had to assemble exactly one line at a time, and it was so nerve-wracking. If you're doing this, I recommend you start with the center line because it's fairly obvious to judge it. If you can't eyeball it, just use a tiny dot in a straight line using a measuring tape, using maybe like a little bit of a darker tan than this. So whatever your base color is, if you just put in a very similar color where your line goes, it can give you maybe a little bit of a helping hand. So that's what I did for this one. This plate is one that I got from a giveaway. You can't get it actually, so I probably shouldn't have used it in this manicure. It's one of those clear jelly stamper, what's the word, club. They have a box now, which I do not get, but somebody sent me those plates when I won their giveaway. All right, so the other thing is, I do think you need other plaid plates than these. One really good example is you'll find some just general good images on some plates, and they do have a plaid or two. So here's a window pane check on this Bundle Monster plate. It's the collab with Ellen Ish BM XL201. So that is that. Anyway, I wanted to show you that because these two, this one I did with that plate I just talked to you about, but this one, the gingham, I did with a different plate that isn't here to remind me which one it is. So if I find out, if I remember, a lot of plates have this size gingham. So don't, you know, don't fret. You'll probably find one soon. So I don't know if you need me to talk about these. This one is, I just wanted to show you that there are ways to use this clear jelly stamper plate that are way other than just plaid. So this is this big line here, and I did the orange and the green because there's a song I really like, Irish songs, and there's a song called The Orange and the Green. Anyway, nobody really cares. I know, I get it. So this one I did like a French treatment, avant-garde a little bit. I put a sequin there. Nobody cares. Nobody can see. So I guess I didn't really need to do that. Anyway, so this one is a vertical gradient with, and then I did the big stripe across there and then 3 smaller stripes in the center. You see, there are multiple sizes of stripes on this thing. So then I did a window pane, and then I did a houndstooth, and then I had to build this again. I had to build this one piece by piece. So first I put the middle on, then I put the, you know, vertical on. And these do help if you can use your rectangular stamper, because you can look and see if it's at right angles to your nail to make sure that you get the correct, you know. But however, it's a lot easier to stamp straight lines with a stamper like this too, like firm, non-wobbly lines. So it's really up to you what you use. This is what happens when you try to fly by the seat of your pants with this clear jelly stamper plate. It just doesn't work. If you are using the clear jelly stamper plate, my recommendation, your mileage may vary, is that you design, you look up, you Google, you Pinterest, you figure out what plaid you want to do, and you copy it instead of just sort of putting on something here, something there, something there. Because I tell you, I wouldn't wear this one. Maybe you guys would, but I hate it. Hate it. So this is the one, the row that I did with the Uberchic. Did I give you guys enough time with this plate? It's such an amazing plate. It makes me so happy. If you are older or your eyes are not as awesome as, you know, 20-year-olds, then maybe grab one of your little magnifier things that you keep in your purse or your reading glasses, whatever, because there are, these are meant to stand alone. I don't know if I told you that before. I know, I'm trying to hurry, but I don't want to rush you through this thing. So these are all things that I did with the Uberchic plate, with the exception of, you know, this one on the end, just like these two. I tried to draw a line, but it's such a sparkly, you know, paper that it's not working out. So I did the buffalo check with this one. There's so many ready-made checks. This is a layer effect. So cool. So, and then this is a holographic Esmaltes de Kelly polish, done in a plaid, just as a French tip. The same thing, French tip, just sort of feeling. So, and then I brought these back because I did these I wore these in my giveaway rundown video where I display everything, but I was practicing for this video, so I wanted to make sure to show you those. And we're so close to done. Just stay with me. Just please stay with me. All right, so this is a clear jelly stamper tryout demo. You can see I don't always get the perfect scrape, or because, I mean, generally speaking, I'm in a real big hurry when I do my swatches. Just sort of slap some paint on the plate and, you know, move the scraper around. Lip service, really, but it worked out. You can see what they can do. So I tried to put each row. Now this is because these are some fine lines and they're just, you know, it was just hard to get back to the paper in time. So here is what this top layer looks like, and it goes over this bottom layer. And these are the two standalones that can complement these. Same thing over here, one, and then this is the layer. Here are some more standalones. This is the standalone that I used to do my French tip on that blue nail. And then we've got the broken lines, broken stripes. Same thing, these all go across here. And then you have the same thing on the last row of the stamping plate. Here, apparently I didn't have room at the bottom to do the other one. These are all coordinates. And this is how these two layer. Isn't that lovely? I love that so much. So I'm thoroughly in love with this plate. I think that this plate is a need or a very good advice. But generally speaking, I don't recommend clear jelly plates for beginners. Even not some intermediates. They give me trouble a lot. This one didn't give me any trouble though. I do have to tell you that. But it, you know, so here's how you're going to want to scrape these. I don't know if you even know. Like, I can't assume that, can I? So you put your polish here, maybe kind of down here, and then trying to get your scraper as flush as you can with the plate. You scrape downwards. You're going to scrape the opposite direction. You're going to sweep the same direction as your line. Because if you scrape like this, you'll scrape that polish right out of that middle there of your line, and you'll end up with a hollow line, and nobody wants hollow lines. I mean, unless that's your aesthetic. So, let me make sure that I've done everything that I meant. I told you about, so solid thumb. Here's a plaid, solid color with an accent. Here's the same color plaid. Here's a contrast plaid. I hope I covered the plaid Manny cheat code well for you. So I don't know if I talked about in the summer that you could use blue or red check or gingham to, you know, mimic, or even a houndstooth to mimic, but usually it's a check. Maybe always it's a check. I just like houndstooth. Anyway, picnic tablecloths is what I'm thinking with, you know, this in a red or something. So I will see you guys soon. Make sure you like this if you liked it. I'd love to hear your comments about what you want to know some more about plaids, or other plates that you want me to tackle. Enter my giveaway. Well, subscribe so that you can enter my giveaway when it comes up. Leave me your comments. And I would love for, what would I love? It's important. Come on, Reza. This was really important. Oh! Next video will be the Mad by Bee box for February. And it is essential oils, and I wasn't really excited about it, but when I got them, they look kind of like seed packets, so I think I can work with that. In the next few days, I'm constantly underestimating how long it'll take me to finish all the prep work for a video, but I'm going to try to put it out tomorrow or the next day, so we'll see. Cross your fingers for me. I love that you stayed with me. Thank you for hanging in there. And here's hoping that I get to 1,000 this week. I'd love that. I will see you later. Bye-bye.